So what I'm going to do today is have some fun with this mould. Now, I absolutely love this mould. It's a really great depth, makes some great jewellery, and it is such a brilliant, brilliant mould. What I'm going to do is I want some negative space in all of these so I can put a different pattern or a different technique in, but still have the outside of it nice and clear. Now, I could cast some bits and pieces out of resin and put them in there, but it's quite difficult to get some shallow resin cast, and I quite fancy having a go at it like this. What I'm going to be using is this. It's like a gum. It goes a long, long way. But when it's cured, you can make silicone molds and all sorts of things out of it. And it actually cures up really well. It takes about 3 or 4 hours to cure nice and hard. And all you need to do is get 2 pieces about the same sort of size of both pots. I got a bit too much of that white, so I'm going to take a bit out. You could weigh this if you wanted to, if you wanted to be really precise. But I found that by doing it like this, it's absolutely fine. Make sure to put your lids on the pots when you've got out what you need, because you don't want this to dry out. And then all you need to do is work this together. It doesn't take many minutes, and you know when it's finished because it's all one homogenized color. So it's all the same color. There's no streaks or anything in it. Now, when you're molding this, you can put it in a pot if you want and mold it like that, or I'm going to be working on a piece of acetate like this because I know that that is going to come up and come off there really easily. And I'll show you what happens if you put it on your silicone mat. It sticks to it and it kind of makes it hard to get it off. So I'll leave that bit there for a second until I'm ready. So I want shapes to go inside here. So all I'm going to do is pull off a little bit like this. I want a round bit to go in that round mold there, that one. So what I'm going to do is roll a little ball, work on my acetate sheet, and I want it to be shallow enough to be able to do a full pour over this. So now I've got a lovely little shape there. All I need to do is run over the top lightly with my finger, and that way it gets rid of any fingerprints. And you can do all different shapes as well. You can do triangles, you can do squares, you can put patterns into it, and it works absolutely lovely. So for instance, that one's a bit thinner one. So if I want to make that into a square, I can do that fairly easily by using a plastic spatula, knocking that down and rubbing any of those little bits off. You can also cut it as well while it's like this. And like I said, it will take about 3 to 5 hours. If it's a cold room, it might take a little bit more. And you can also indent it as well and put some patterns in it, which is what I'm going to do for this one. So going around the edge, I'm going to have some small dots or small pushing bits like that. And then in the middle, I'm going to have a large piece, and all I'm using is the end of a paintbrush here. I want one to be that sort of shape, teardrop shape. So I've rolled it into a teardrop shape before I start, and then I can push it into that shape like that. And that's ever so easy to do. All I do is roll a ball and cut my hands like that until it gets to that sort of shape. And you can kind of do that as well, both ends, and make like a lemon almost like that by rolling it like that. Can you see it's made like a lemon shape? And now I can push that in there, and that becomes more of an oval. So this is what I mean by if you put it on your silicone mat. Can you see how it's automatically stuck to that silicone mat? Now, while it's like that, you can scrape it off using your spatula, but I'm not sure whether it would come off once it's cured, if it would be permanently stuck onto your silicone mat. So I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to make some more shapes, some of them thicker than the others, but none of them so they will come over that edge there. And then I'll show you the shapes that I've made, and then we can leave them to cure. So there we go, I've finished all my shapes now, and all I need to do is leave them to cure up. Shouldn't take long, it's quite warm in here today, so it should be about 4 hours. As you can see, some of them I've left plain, some of them I've made little patterns on the top, just an abstract little pattern, and others I've pushed things in. That I pushed a little bit of shell in, and I really like that slight pattern that's come out. So these have all cured up now really, really well, and they've gone lovely and hard, but they are a bit flexible, which is great because it makes it easier to be able to get things out. Now what I'm going to do is push these into these molds like this and push them down, and I'm hoping that that is going to stick well enough to that mold when I pour the resin and give it a really nice finish. I am going to try probably a couple of ways, because if this does float in resin, then that's brilliant too, because we can then float them on the top and then work from the other side. So I'm going to try that, but I'm also going to try where I stick some down as well. Like I said, I did a lot of different shapes. So those 4 I've done with nothing. And then these 4 I'm going to do with painting a little bit of this glue, which is the gilding glue, because it stays sticky when it's cured. And I'm going to paint that on the back of some of these. Now all I'm going to do is paint this on the back and let that dry. And this glue sticks to silicone really, really well. And it washes off really easily as well, using a baby wipe or something, once it's dry. So let's mark these up. So we've got nothing in this one, nothing in these 2, and nothing in that one. These ones we're going to use glue. These are all nice and dry now, so I can push these in here and push them down. There we go. And I've got something else special in mind for these 2. So I'm not going to know if these are going to float until I've mixed my resin up. So that's what I'm going to do now. And I'm going to be using the J-Diction 4-hour demold for this as well, because I want it to cure up really quickly, and I also want it to be a thickish resin. This is the thickest resin because hopefully that's going to prevent this moving around when I try and float them on top. Always remember, this needs to be slightly above room temperature to ensure you get the 4-hour demold. But it's a brilliant resin. Well, because this is a thick resin, it does mix up with some bubbles. So I popped it through my Airless Pro, and look at that, completely clear. So now I'm going to pour my resin into these. These ones that I've already got the insects into, I'm going to pour it almost to the top. We will get a little bit of trapped air underneath of these, but what we can do is using a little micro brush, we can go and release that air. See, there's a little bubble there, pouring slowly as well. Oh look, I've over poured that one. I am a hazard to myself. There, that should be enough out of there. And then these are the ones where I'm going to try and see what happens if I float it onto the top of the resin. So these are all poured now, and none of these have lifted, so it does make me think that these aren't going to float, but we will see what happens. If they fall straight down, then I'll know, and then I can just discard those ones and make some more. And for these ones where they've got more edging around them, I'm going to put in some of these little charms. Now you get bags of these for really next to nothing. I'll link them in the description below, and this was a great idea that was given to me by one of my members, Claire Holloway. Thank you, Claire. All I'm going to do is push those in. They're heavy enough to stay down to the bottom. Actually, they do seem to be staying in there and floating quite well, which is great. And this is a nice thick resin, so that will help it. We'll see if they cure up and stay and remain floating, or if they sink down. But these have all cured up lovely, and none of them have risen by the looks of it. And also, none of them sunk, which is great news. So I think hopefully they'll all work. That one there did sink a little bit, but I don't think that's going to make any real difference. So next thing to do is get them out of the mould. Look at this one, really pretty. I love that one, really, really pretty. With the little mermaid and the little fairy in. Now you might get a little bit of what I consider to be underpour that's gone under where we put them on the bottom. There is a little bit there, but that should just pull straight off. And it's not going to matter because it's not going to show. And the ones that I used the glue with, they've stuck really, really well. But also the ones I didn't use glue with have stuck equally as well by the looks of them. Yeah, they have. So we should be able to get these out by just releasing them a little bit, and then they should just pull out. Might have to put something under them. I don't want to scratch anything, so I might have to just put something under there like that and pop them out. And there we go. We've got a finished piece. You could leave that like that, but I'm not going to, obviously. That's not what the whole point of doing them was. So certainly the experiment where we used glue on the backs of these, it really didn't need it. It didn't make any difference. They've all stuck down so well. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to remove all these. See, that's what I mean by a little bit of overpour. But because it's so shallow, or a little bit of underpour, because it's so shallow, it should just pop off. And this is one of the ones I did with a shape. And that shape has come out really well. I love that. I didn't use many of them with the shapes in. I don't know why. Also, I will keep all these because they'll be able to be used over and over again without any problems whatsoever. So I'm going to mix my resin up now, ready, and I'm going to use different things in them as well to get some different ideas of what I want to do. So these ones I'm going to be using alcohol inks in. These ones the chameleon powders, and these ones the chrome powders. I've got my resin mixed up, and I'm also working on my heat mat because I'm going to be using alcohol inks with this one. Before I start putting my powders in these ones, what I'm going to do is fill the ones up that I'm going to be using my alcohol inks in. And I'm using a pipette because if not, I will definitely over pour these. So this way I can be a lot more gentle on how much I'm putting in and bring it right up to the very edge. I'll probably dome these afterwards anyway. I'm going to quickly go over those with a long neck lighter, and I'm only going to need a little bit of alcohol ink like this, and then let that do its thing. And I'm using the medium or the middle depth sinker, not the deep one, not the bottom one. I'm using coffee and yellow here, and on this one I'm using blue and white, and then I think I might use the same two colours on this one as well. Those patterns are just amazing that it makes. Might have put too much in that one, but we'll see. And then I'm going to leave these for about 15 minutes now before I do anything else to them. So I'm moving them to this side so I don't knock them and mess them about. So these two I'm going to put chrome powder in. Now I'm not putting any glue on this to start with. I don't want to have that sort of effect with it. I want it to be kind of like dusty with them. See, like that. Now I'm going to put my resin in here, and now I'm going to put some blue and some white alcohol inks on this one as well. There we go, and then that's it. So I'm going to put a little bit of chameleon flake in here, like so, and then put my resin on top of that. And the same for this one. And then the chameleon powders I'm also going to put in a similar way to I did the chrome powder, so we've got a bit of a mixture. Well, these have had long enough now on the mat, and what I'm going to do is give them a bit of a twist. I'm not going to do the ones where I put something in the base. I'm only going to do the ones that are just pure alcohol inks and resin, and that's it. And now what I'm going to do is let these cure up, and then I will show you them, and then I'll dome them and show you them again. These are all lovely and cured now. I have to say I've learned a lot by doing this, and what I actually prefer is the ones where they float, because that way you get the nice curve of this mold being the front, where if you stick them to the mold, you don't. See that there's a difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dome that up. Let me show you one where that was one where they were floating, and that is really pretty in there. So there is a big difference between the front and the back of them. Where I actually floated them, you can still work them the right side. I am going to dome them, both the front and the backs, and we'll see how well it comes off. Now it's going to be more difficult to dome on these ones because of these curved sides, and the resin will try to run over that, but we're going to see if we can get away with it. And for doming, I much prefer using UV resin. It's so much quicker. It cures really, really hard. And that UV resin, once it's cured in a matter of a couple of minutes, it's not going to flow or go anywhere else. So it's always my go-to. And I always use the high viscosity one as well, because it's nice and thick and works really well. So let's try this one to start with. I'll zoom into it. I love how that pattern has come out on there. So we're going to dome the back of this one just by putting it right up to the edge to start with, around the little loop or the hole. There we go. And then once we've done that, we can then fill in the middle bit. Now, I will have squeezed some bubbles in this because I'm working in an area where there's no natural light anyway. It doesn't matter because all the light in here I try and control. Then it's not going to cure up. So I can leave it a few minutes to let those bubbles come to the top and then burn them off with a long neck lighter. There we go. We'll leave that a few seconds and then we'll burn that off. While that's doing that, I'm going to try and dome this one here. And I'm going to do this slightly different because it's indented more in this middle bit. I'm going to dome just the middle. Yeah, there we go. That looks quite nice. This one, I'll try and dome the whole thing, and so we can have a look at the difference. Yeah, it's already starting to run down the edges a little bit. Let's make that a little bit of a feature and have it run down in some places. It's because these have got rounded edges on them. Not sure I'm going to like that. But unless we try, we don't know, do we? Now let's cure those up. Well, that's those done and domed up. I think that one is my absolute favourite. Look at that. I think that's come out really, really pretty in there. That's the front, and that really now is the front where I've domed it up, and it's domed up lovely. And that was so easy to make. That came out better than I thought it would. I quite like that with the drips, and they're not going to be sharp because they was cured on the silicone mat, and that's cured really nicely. And there's one of the ones that all I did was cure the actual square that I cut out, so it's got a slight dome to it. Can you see in the middle? And that's floating in there. And I did the same with that one as well, look. There, I don't know if you can see that come up. Look, that's domed in the middle. and that's the front. And I did the same with those ones. I wasn't very careful with that one, and I went over the edges. I really think it's useful. It's a great way of being able to put some different decal in. I could have done that in different colour afterwards, and it would have stayed there, or I could have done the outside in a different colour and then the inside bit in clear and put some charms in. Even I could have made them into shakers as well. A great little experiment. Hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, then check out the video that I've got coming up next. I think you'll really love that one if you want to learn more about resin. Boot that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.